Nearly 150 years after plains bison were driven to near extinction, Wanuskewin Heritage Park, located just north of Saskatoon, welcomed them back in 2019, marking a historic moment in both reconciliation and ecological restoration.
Our elders have been driving forces in the development of the site, the content that we provide, and kind of just how the site has grown over the years. And from the beginning, they've always said that bison needed to be back on this landscape. We were very, very lucky to get both bison from Grasslands National Park and Yellowstone National Park, two of some of the kind of last remaining genetically pure bison herds. Now over that time, the herd has grown quite tremendously, so clearly they've enjoyed being back here at Wanuskewin, and we have just been absolutely thrilled to see the impact that they're having not only on our visitors, our staff, our guests, and our elders, but the impact that they're having onto the landscape and the species that they are once again providing homes for.
Not long after the return of the bison to these lands, their activity helped uncover a remarkable and culturally significant archaeological find.
One of their most unique behavioral traits is conducting something that we call wallowing. So wallowing is simply when a bison will throw itself onto the ground and start rolling around in that loose soil. Our chief archaeologist, Dr. Ernie Walker, was walking by one of these wallows, and he just happened to see just the stone, or the face of a stone at the very bottom. So it had been uncovered by the bison activity, and as he took a closer look, he realized that there were some very irregular grooves that had been cut into the top of that stone face. The petroglyph contains an image of a spirit figure in the center with the image of a bison ribstone surrounding it. Now, interestingly enough, the more we started excavating that little spot, we even found the tool that had been used to carve that image into the rock immediately next to it. But I think it is a fantastic and really heartwarming story of the bison being the ancestral inhabitants of this land, coming back to this landscape after 150 years, and within just a few short years leading to one of our largest and most significant archaeological discoveries. So just by bringing the bison back to this landscape, they are helping us relearn more about the history of this property.
With much of the 430-acre property being previously used for agriculture, the introduction of bison has also played a key role in grassland restoration.
Because they're so large and they're consuming such vast amounts of material, many other organisms around here have learned and evolved to adapt to those particular disturbances and use those disturbances. So just by the bison being here, by bringing those characteristic impacts back to the landscape, we are seeing the generation of those microhabitats, those small but critical little features of the landscape that all the other organisms here depend on for their individual life histories.
The park continues to be on a path to earn UNESCO World Heritage Site designation. In 2026, Wanuskewin will submit its final nomination dossier to Parks Canada.
It does give us a few years to really get ourselves well set in stone for that UNESCO designation. And I think in terms of the bison, it just gives them so much more protection. We often talk about bison as being this natural component of the landscape. However, due to their near extinction in the 1800s, we're still dealing with a dramatically lower population than we should expect, considering how large their range used to be. There's certainly much more work to be done in rejuvenating the use of bison as natural grazers on these landscapes, in particular maintaining that genetic stability and that genetic variation.
It's been a remarkable comeback for a species once reduced to near extinction, thanks to the collective effort of Indigenous communities, conservationists, ranchers, and supporters. Wanuskewin welcomes visitors to come learn, celebrate, and share in the story of the bison.
Not only do we have multiple self-guided tours to learn more about both Indigenous cultures, their relationship to bison, but we also have many public programming offerings, such as our Bison Walk or our Plant Walk, which would certainly give you more information about bison, their history, their relationship to Indigenous cultures, and what we're doing today to really help return this magnificent animal back to these landscapes.